Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Kamand. We're discussing one of the most important yet challenging skills in English learning process, listening skill. If you've ever felt lost when someone is speaking too fast or you're always struggling to catch every words in movies and conversations, but you can't, you're not alone. Today, I'll be sharing some powerful tips and techniques to improve, to boost your listening skill, and to be a better listener. By doing these tips and techniques, not only you can improve your listening skill, but also you can help your pronunciation, your speaking skills, and your rhythm, so you can speak more naturally. Tips. Before we jump into the tips, let's talk about this question. Why improving your listening skill is such a crucial thing to do? Well, it's not just about improving your listening skill. By improving your listening skill, you can pick up on, some new phrases, new words, vocabularies, expressions, and you can improve your pronunciation, your intonation, your rhythm of the language. And by doing this, you're gonna improve your speaking, listening at the same time. Think about this. Listening is one of the most natural ways that a baby or a human can learn a language. So, we can build a strong foundation by listening. So, in a language learning process, we can build a strong foundation just by listening. But the real challenge is when we can't find the right methods to actually improve our listening skill. And that's why I'm here today. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please push the button and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to like this video. By doing this, you're gonna help me a lot. So, our first tip is so simple but so effective at the time. You have to start with the content that matches your level. If you're a beginner in English learning, you can't, you shouldn't, you mustn't start with contents that are made for, native speakers. You have to start with things like beginner podcasts, clips, YouTube channels that mostly educational channels are suitable for this purpose. You have to start with slower spoken English. Slower spoken English. Like my channel. There are plenty sources out there like VOA Learning English, BBC Learning English if you're interested in British accent, and many others. Just remember this. It's better to fully understand simpler materials than feel lost with something too advanced. Be honest with yourself. You want to improve, and this is the way. The second tip is using subtitles but in a smart way. When you start watching shows or series or whatever, just start watching them with subtitles. Or if you're listening to a podcast or music, turn on the transcript or lyrics. This really helps you to connect the spoken words, the spoken forms of the words to the written forms. And this is really helpful for your dictation as well. And of course, your reading skill. Because whenever you see that word, you can read it with the correct pronunciation. But here's the key. As you get more comfortable with watching, shows, series, or English contents, turn off those subtitles. This will challenge your listening skill and force you to rely on what you hear. Maybe you can try a technique that I like to call it the subtitle transition. How does this work? Let me tell you. As I told, choose a piece of content that matches your level, and you have to watch it for 3 or 4 times at least. At least. And first time you watch it with subtitles, English subtitles. And for the second time, you turn off those subtitles and just trust yourself. And for the third time, you have to write not not every words, but try to write as much as you can. But if not, if you don't have the time, that's fine. You just have to write, the new phrases, expressions, and vocabularies you're interested in. And then for the fourth time, if you've got time, you can go and check back if what you wrote matches what is actually being said. Why is this approach so important? Because it helps you to build your confidence in listening skill. And trust me, the more you do this, the easier it gets. Our next tip is about active listening. What does that mean? To give all your attention, focus on what you're hearing and what you're watching. It's really easy to forget or to lose words when you're watching or listening to something in a foreign language. So, I've got a practical practice for you. Just play your content, audio or video or whatever, and try to write the key points that you hear. Don't worry about catching, every word. Just try to focus on the main idea that you're hearing and write them down. Afterwards, you can check your notes with the transcript or lyrics or subtitles or whatever. This helps train your brain to catch the important parts of a conversation. Now, let's talk about the next tip, shadowing and repeating. I know that you've heard a lot about these two techniques. And yes, those are amazing techniques. So shadowing is when you're listening to a speaker and then you repeat what they exactly said. You mimic the exact pronunciation, intonation, rhythm, and even you repeat their pauses. So for this technique, I highly recommend you to choose someone that you like their accents or someone that you like their contents. So it's really important that you're interested in the accent or the content. If you're not interested, trust me, you won't do it. And of course, by doing this, you're improving your listening and speaking skills at the same time. That's amazing, really amazing. The next tip is using content clues to understand new words. Let me tell you a secret. Even native speakers don't understand every word they hear. So, how do they figure things out if they don't understand every word? Of course, they use context clues. You can do this by paying attention to the surrounding words, the tone of voice, the body language, and the rhythm. The facial expressions. Every clue is counted. So, imagine you're watching a TV show, but you are not getting every word's meaning. That's fine. Just try to focus on the surrounding of those words. What's happening around them? Are they smiling saying it? Are they happy? Are they sad? Is there a background noise that suggests a mood like laughter or a scary music? The context often gives you more clues than you think. Our next tip is listening to different accents. Well. English is spoken differently across the world, even in English-speaking countries. They have different accents, dialects, like British accent, American accent, Australian accent, and even regional accents inside each country. So, by exposing yourself to different accents, you'll be training your ears to recognize every and different sounds in English language. You can do this by, watching different movie shows, TV series, or even news channels. They offer different and various contents. We've come a long way, and my final tip, and the most important one, is to practice every day. Even if it's for just 10 minutes, that's fine. If you don't have the time, if you're focusing on other skills, that's fine. Just try to practice your listening every day, consistently, and even if it's just for 10 to 15 minutes, that's fine. Short, consistent listening practices can do a lot over time. Just remember, improving your listening skill is not something that happens over one night. It takes time and patience and a lot of effort. So if you can do it daily, that's the best thing you can do to yourself. Alright everyone, I hope you loved and enjoyed this video and this was really helpful for you. If you're using other methods or approaches to improve your listening skill, just let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to see your comments. Don't forget to subscribe.